This episode is brought to you by D2C Design, your growth partner for high-performance e-commerce. If you're wondering what's holding back your Shopify store, D2C Design offers a free consultative conversion block report. That's right, no strings attached. Just contact them, set up a free call, and they'll break down exactly what your site needs. Again, D2C Design.
Good afternoon, good morning to those that are it's morning time. This is the Happy Customer Channel. I am your substitute, also known as the youngest areola. Say I look a little bit better than Dan, but we're not judging. We're actually here to introduce one of my really good friends. Met this gentleman one time and I knew it was a great click, so super happy to have you on the show. Man, so many things to talk about, so many words I can say for your introduction, but Jose Alvarado, why don't you just give us a quick synopsis? Tell us who Jose is.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world watching this. A little bit about me. I was born in El Salvador, raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And fast forward, I've spent most of my career in customer service. Nice. I'm currently working in the world's largest home improvement retailer as the senior manager for vendor outsourcing. And I can tell you all that I have spent the last 8 years of my life being a brand advocate for outsourcing. And I have dedicated my career these last 8 years on advocating for other brands on why outsourcing is great for CX. How outsourcers don't dilute the brand. They're an extension of the brand. They mirror the brand. They enhance the experience. But also realizing how when you work in this arena or this industry that we call outsourcing, you're creating jobs, you're creating opportunities, you're impacting people's lives. Absolutely. And it's a blessing. So for me, I would say every step that I've taken from being a call center agent to being a supervisor to being a manager to where I'm at today has really been a journey of a million miles. Because
well traveled.
Because I never pictured or imagined being in this role, but I would not trade it for anything in the world, really.
Nice. I love it, man. And as I mentioned earlier, I've been able to talk to Jose time in, time off, and grabbing you when you're in the plane, which it seems like you're always on a plane, and you always make that time and make that moment personal, I would say.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect segue to my next question. I couldn't have made this up anymore. What allows you to instill those values in every single conversation? What are your principles? How do you get there? And how do you repeat it every single day?
You know, people are going to find this cliche. People are going to find this. For me, it's passion, right? When you love what you do, it's a vacation. It's not a job. It's not. I don't have to. I get to. Yeah. And so for me, it's I get to instill my brand's culture, but it transcends beyond the actual brand. It's my own set of core values, from empathy to honest to making sure people are heard, people are seen. If it's one thing that I have come to appreciate when I visit these different geographies, is one, people come up to me and tell me how much they appreciate the time that I've spent with them, how much my team spends with them. But the one thing that hurts me the most is when I hear people say, I have felt neglected. And so that's where I have to rush in and figure out, how do we ensure that they feel the love, they feel cared, they feel supported, they feel heard, they feel seen, they feel celebrated, respected, but also recognized. So for me, it values, it goes beyond numbers. Yeah. You can't, it goes beyond metrics.
It's not a job. It's a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Something that you, and in our conversations, and I can repeat it 1,000 times. I truly say it because it's true. You breathe this. Yeah. You breathe what we would call a happy customer experience. Yeah. Let alone, not only do you service that from the company side, I believe that you're also transcending that to the partners or the vendors that you support. Because in our conversations, I feel like you're very, very hands-on not just on the North Star and the end result, but what has captured me the most is that you're very hands-on in understanding how to get there and breaking those pieces down to the most minute step and understanding that left foot, right foot, and we will get there, but we will get there together.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
And here's the thing, right? For me, it's I challenge, I encourage everyone who's on our team, and even the people that I meet, you have to filter your decisions through values.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have a set of core values, and it's going to be transactional, and you're going to make decisions that will impact people and their livelihood because of a number and not a value. That's what I've come to appreciate and learn the last 8 years is every decision that I make is filtered through a value that I hold dear in my heart, whether if it's excellent customer service, whether if it's entrepreneurial spirit, whether if it's taking care of people, building strong relationships.
Strong.
You know, how do I filter these decisions through these values that will, you know, have an impact on someone's life?
And you mentioned in this position, in the CX customer support role, you've been there 8+ years. It triggers me to ask, was this something that was instilled in you? Was Jose born with this? I know a little bit about your background. Was this something that you along the way just saw that it was a little bit of something missing, that little lagniappe, and you were like, this is the proper way to do it, and this is what created the Jose of today?
Yeah, I love that phrasing. For me, I grew up in the church. And so church faith will always be a part of my life.
Amen.
I will tell you, I have struggled to live my true authentic self within a confined four wall, and just how do I expand that to everyone, but be respectful that not everyone shares my values or faith, but I can still express my faith in a way that they understand, respect, valued, being recognized. So I just took what I've learned all my life and found a creative way to infuse that with what my current company has as their values, and just perfect, you think about restaurants, how now a lot of them are fusing together. So I just kind of fused
you made your own fusion,
both worlds, and I'm living it.
The Jose CX fusion.
There we go.
It's beautiful. And I hate to make this about faith, but man, I strongly believe that, to me, that's my North Star. And I think that I can settle at night knowing that I did things the right way because of my faith. But more importantly, like you said, it's a really different world nowadays, and you can't force faith on folks.
You can't.
But I still think that it's in our power to share that and use it as our North Star to do things the proper way.
I love that.
Speaking of proper way, I know this is in your wheelhouse. I know it's one of your favorite questions for today. We didn't prep the questions, but we did share them. Cargo culting. What do you see people in your position, people in the CX world, all of the leaders out there across every company that you get to interact with, what do you see that they're doing today that seems good, but it's actually a little bit counterproductive or maybe even somewhat illogical?
I'll tell you this: everyone's chasing the shiny objects, and they're chasing trends, and I get it. We are in a world right now where AI is everywhere, and unfortunately, you have leaders who don't understand AI. Don't understand the true impact, and they are purchasing software but have no strategy. And what's happening is they don't have the strategy, but they also don't know how to implement it in their workforce. And we, as leaders are chasing these shiny things, what's happening is they haven't even fixed the basic things. So you can't move on to. I remember back in. I don't know why I almost said we're in 2028, but
futuristic.
Exactly.
This man thinks in the future. This man is always in the future.
God.
I love it.
I would say 2023, 2024, our motto was next level. And I remember I told at the time, the people that I work with, we can't go to the next level if you guys can't fix the basics that you have. And so I believe what's happening is you have a lot of CX leaders who are trying to go to the next level and go into the world of AI, but they have not fixed the basic things. As an example, you want to have all this cool software, but your knowledge base is not up to date.
Yeah.
It's not validated. You're focused on tone, right? But you're not focusing on how do you empower your associates to take care of your customers.
So it doesn't matter what the tone is.
Exactly.
The message will never be communicated.
Yeah. So I think that before leaders can focus on next level, do we have the basis covered?
Yeah.
Right. And that even goes back to the hiring profile. When you hire people, do you have the right people in place? Because now what ends up happening is you have talent acquisition or recruiting, learning and development, workforce, and ops in silos. But how do you fuse them together to make sure, let's take all of our lessons learned so that we don't repeat the same mistakes? Yep. But not only that, I think you have to go beyond the people that you hire. Also, how do we ensure when we roll things out, initiatives, that we're not stacking things on top of each other to where people can't adopt what we're doing? So I think what's happening is people are chasing shiny things, and unfortunately, it's not as productive or conducive to their overall strategy.
Takes them back in time.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, speaking as if you're talking to a fifth grader, I come from the time where AI stood for Allen Iverson, okay? I'm still trying to correct my crossover. But I love the fact that you're very senior in this world and understanding of the world, yet it seems to me that you're saying that we have to take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
And not just dive in head first to the unknown to have a shiny diamond that doesn't really exist, right? Cool. I like that.
Yeah, and I get there are leaders who want to move fast, but I love the African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go too far, you got to go together.
Got to go together. And
oftentimes you have leaders or organizations that are working in silos, and unfortunately, you end up doing harm to your customer. You end up doing harm to your stakeholders, and you end up doing harm to the agents, the people that. Which leads to attrition. You don't retain people because now they're frustrated, and I think that organizations have to slow down, especially where we're headed with AI. They have to make sure they get it right.
Yes, before deployment. There's a such thing, being on my side of the business, there's a such thing as a sandbox environment where you can test things behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with that. Which leads me to a current struggle. AI, it's a hot word, but for every brand, it's different, right? I sense to believe, I truly believe that there is a world for AI, and there's still going to be a world for the human experience as well. For you, Jose, in your position, do you believe that that is true as well? And also, I want to understand, what do you think is the perfect blend of human and AI?
So I'll tell you this. I don't think AI is going to replace humans. That's just my honest opinion. I don't care how many movies we've seen, whether if it was Terminator, Skynet.
It's a great movie, by the
way. I don't believe we'll get to a time where humans will be obsolete from the customer interaction. I will tell you, there isn't, from my conversation with industry leaders, there isn't a universal agreement on a specific number of, what percentage is going to be AI, what percentage is going to be human. I believe organizations are going to have to determine what can AI handle, triage, and make simple, determinations on a customer interaction, and what's going to require a human to really take the more complex conversations, right? Where empathy is truly required, but also you need a human to operate in the gray, right? Because what's going to end up happening is you're going to have customers who are frustrated because, and let me tell you all, I am the kind of customer, I'm 40. I'm the kind of customer who wants to speak to a human. I do not want to speak to a bot.
Same.
I do not want to speak to, just this AI machine. I want to speak to a human being who can understand me, who can hear me, who can see me for who I am. But I think ultimately, human beings, we're able to operate in the gray and go beyond policy and understand, well, I understand this is outside of policy, but I'm going to go and do the right thing
Correct.
for you and by you
and
for the company.
I like that a lot. And you used a word there that I'm going to skip questions, so I'm sorry if I take you off, Richter.
No.
But you used a word that's very, very big in the CX world, in the world of a happy customer, and that is empathy.
Yeah.
With that, it bridges me to empathy latency. So AI is fast. AI is great.
Yeah.
AI is the silver bullet, the magic sauce behind the scenes for me.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, a human can take that problem and dissolve it and go areas that AI wasn't designed to go.
Yeah.
Right? It can carve out a new avenue to get to that end result where your customer is happy, not just a hang up and call back, right? And I think it's beautiful. How do you design a system, or do you think it exists, a system that can blur that handoff where Jose calls in and he says, okay, I'm going to talk to AI and technology, but I know if my problem needs to get solved, I'm going to go to human, or vice versa. This is a repetitive issue. I just need this date to be changed. Can it be done with human? Does it have to wait for Erwin to pick up the phone, or can just technology do it?
From my experience, we're not there just yet. Just from my experience, I think customers are still feeling downgraded from having to deal with the bot. Customers are still feeling that they're having to toggle back and forth. There is still some refinement that needs to happen with AI and being able to switch from a bot to someone like yourself and me to take care of the customer. But I also believe that as organizations continue to implement AI initiatives, they have to find ways to make it more seamless to where customers don't feel that immediate switch. In fact, I will tell you, when I think about the customer journey, we in the industry are seeing where customers are still struggling on, is this a bot or is this a human?
Yeah.
So when does the AI stop and when does the human pick up?
Great.
And so how do you create those seamless interactions? How do you ensure that your customers don't feel that they're another number, that there's confusion? And here's the thing, you're dealing with different age groups, right? So how do you help the more tenured customer adopt to technology while you have the more younger up and coming generation who is fast moving, they want it now, they understand technology. And so a lot of organizations are having to transition. So how do you help your customers through seamless interactions? And I think a lot of companies are still trying to figure out, how do we iron out, how do we smooth this out to make sure we don't do harm to the customer and don't do harm to the agent.
Yeah. And it's tenfold. There's that funny saying that I'm sure everybody in the CX world has heard. You mess up one interaction, everybody's going to hear about it.
Yeah.
You do 99 right, who cares? It's your job.
Yeah.
Right. So it's crazy, but but it's the reality.
As you're a customer, I'm a customer. None of us want to repeat ourselves.
Nope.
None of us want to have to be toggled back and forth. At the end of the day, when we're thinking about AI, all companies should think about, how do we ensure customers don't feel downgraded because of our tools or systems or a bot.
Yeah. If jumping around again, but I love what you're saying and where we're going. So I think this flows perfectly with my next question of asking, if you were to be able to take not just whatever you're using currently, but what you see out there in the world, and take one thing out of that technology to make it more seamlessly, do you have an idea of what that would be?
Yes, I do.
I feel like you're ready for this one.
So if I were to create my own system, is that what you're saying? If I were to create my own system, I should have copyrighted and no.
We'll blur this out, guys.
Yeah.
You can't take this. You can't take this.
I want to eliminate the manual work, manual categorization, right? This is where AI comes in, understands what the customer's intent is, and let the AI system categorize, prioritize, do these simple tasks versus having an agent toggle to 23 different systems, having to do 32 clicks, right? I would create a one platform. You think about Lord of the Rings, the one ring that rules them all.
Rules the world.
Or Terminator, Skynet, right?
Here
we go again. I'm back. I would say creating one platform that doesn't need a 2.0 version, a 3.0 version. Oh, wait, we got a 20.0 version. Just one platform that can automate itself, create automated responses for customers, and just allow the agent to really interact.
Yeah.
Focus on the agent's behavior of the customer interaction. I would create a tool that I don't want to say one size fits all, but a tool that can it's a one single platform.
I couldn't agree more with a lot of what you said, but more importantly, I think the most overlooked hero here is the agent.
Yeah.
As we think about technology, everybody thinks about the forward-facing technology, AI, and how it's going to assist the client, the consumer. But how does it assist and impact the actual agent experience? Because as you mentioned, if I can create an experience where now this agent is picking up the phone and he has at the palm of his hand everything that happened with his customer, the sentiment, the emotions that he faced in the last, was it a good call? Was it a bad call? What he actually called about? Is he a repeat caller? He didn't get a return. He needed a return. How much better would that experience be? Not just for the agent, but how would it transcend to the actual consumer? Right. That would make a truly beautiful experience. And again, guys, you can't take that idea. I'm only going to take cliff notes on it, but you can't take it completely, guys. Jose, I know I'm not making this up, guys. I'm borrowing this guy's time, okay? We are on borrowed time. I'm almost indebted to his time. So I want to knock out 3 questions that are the most important to me.
Okay.
You've lived through technology. Through customer experience, CX, the evolution of it. I think you lived through the biggest evolution, which was introducing AI. Where do you see the state of CX in the next 12 months?
In the next 12 months, I think once the pendulum has settled, AI will still sit at the as the operating model core for every organization. I think people are real in 12 months are going to figure out, here's our strategy, here's how we'll execute, here's how it'll impact everything we do within our organization. I think, and just being candid here, right? I've been to a few conferences where it's like seeing deer with taillights coming at them. They don't know what AI is or how to implement it. And here's what's interesting, right? You have Fortune 500 companies who some are already there, who are 12 months already ahead of time. You have a few who are still navigating, trying to understand how do we implement strategy. And then you have, those small to mid-sized companies who are truly trying to wrap their hands around just AI in itself. So I foresee in 12 months, you'll have a majority of CX industry leaders truly implementing more AI strategy and in their operations, in their workforce, once everything has settled, because we've been at this now for 3, maybe 4 years in the CX from my experience, just from my perspective. But I think organizations are going to start to shift to behavioral metrics.
Yeah.
And if you're not thinking about that now, think about AI is going to do the menial task that an associate can do. For example, why would you need an associate to tell your customers what are the operating hours of your stores? Or when AI can do that, a bot can do that, right? Why would you need a customer to tell your customers about a policy around returns. An agent, right?
You go to the store and it's written on the wall. It's exactly. Almost like instead of having this written on the wall, have somebody standing outside saying this, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of organizations have to think about, if AI is going to take some of the workload off of our agents, then we now have to shift our focus to behavioral metrics.
Yes.
And how do we use AI to measure sentiment? How do we use AI to measure not only the customer sentiment, the agent, and the supervisor? Because that's the other aspect, is we also have to think about how are leaders engaging with their people and how they're being coached and developed. And how do you use AI to listen in on those conversations? And how do you elevate that experience for the associate? So I think behavioral metrics is going to be the next big focus. But I would encourage whoever is listening to this, don't lose sight of journey mapping. Don't lose sight of the customer experience and the customer journey. Everything that we do as CX leaders, you have to view everything from the customer's lens at the end of the day. So,
Jose, if you keep dropping dimes like this, we're going to have to charge for the podcast. Okay? This is going to be a consultancy podcast if you keep doing this. That was amazing. I couldn't have put it better in my own words. I think we're very like-minded. There's a lot of synergy in the way we're thinking to that same situation. I know I said I had 3 questions. I'm going to knock it down to 2 because of timing.
Okay.
Trying to keep us on track here. But I think my favorite and the most important question here is, you end up exactly where you started after walking south, west, and north. Now apply that logic to CX. Where will the industry be in 5 years that looks exactly like it did 20 years ago, despite all of the AI and technology?
I have a short answer, and I really thought about this. So human empathy will never go away. Simplicity over complexity. And then lastly, trust is and will always be the currency.
I love it.
Trust. I think customers need to trust their brands. And this is why, a lot of organizations put so much focus on likelihood to shop again. That's their currency. Is, can the customers trust my brand and what we're doing to come back and shop with us?
Yeah.
So for me, I would say in 20 years, no matter what direction I go in, those 3 truths will not change. It's empathy and simplicity, because how do you make it effortless for me? How do you make it frictionless? But then how do I trust your brand and your product for me to keep coming back as a customer?
So the best way to put this is empathy and simplicity equal loyalty.
Yeah.
And that's what we truly want in the customer experience. I think that'll get a couple of happy customers. Hello? Jose, anything else you want to say to the camera? I mean, before we start charging them for watching this?
No, here's what I will tell everyone, right? When you think about your people, think about do no harm to the customer, do no harm to the agent. So in spite of all the tech advances that we're all doing in our organizations, don't forget about your people, right? Respect, honor, celebrate, develop. And I know that we focus a lot on the front line, but you can't forget about your leaders. How do you develop your leaders? How do you enhance their experience? How do you retain that talent? In my experience, I have often been in conversations where the frontline and the leaders and support teams, WFM, learning and development, there's not a lot of investment. So I would say to all of you listening and watching, think about their experience, right? How do you elevate? How do you enhance? How do you retain them? And I think it goes back to what several founders of different organizations have shared is, if you take care of your people, the rest will take care of itself. So that's it.
I love it. Jose, I really, really appreciate your time.
Thank
I know
you.
how time sensitive and how you're jumping from place to place every single day, but I appreciate you taking 5 minutes to speak with us and share with the world what a true happy customer experience feels like and looks like. Appreciate at a very high and intricate, high level, as well as an intricate level as well.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, D2C Design, your design firm for anything related to Shopify, e-commerce, and your website needs. Again, you can find them at d2cdesign.com. Thanks.